Good afternoon, everybody. This is your host, Vinny Rulo, for the Sports Card Man podcast. This is our first podcast episode. We're starting a brand new one on our Instagram at Sports Card Man, where you can give us a follow. Quick introduction about myself. We'll make it brief, and then we're going to get into a lot of things about what this podcast will be all about. Get into some good sports debates, cards, topics, news, you name it. I started Sports Card Man in 2018 and wanted to do something where I could create a voice in sports cards, talk about which cards to buy, talk about different rookies I like, different cards I liked collecting, buying. I came up with the thing Buy of the Day, aka BOTD. Basically, it just points out a card that I think is the Buy of the Day, where I think it'll go up in value, long term, short term, and the thing that separates our account from other people that are on sports cards on Instagram is that we're projecting a future value when you look at these posts. For instance, many of these posts were way ahead of their time. If you've been following us since 2018, thank you for that. We want to continue to grow more and more, so that's why we're putting out this type of content. I'm going to try to do it each week on this podcast. So it's going to be about a half-hour episode. When we make these posts, we're projecting the future value, as I said. And we want to post cards that people are not thinking to buy, or why you think it's a good buy, or projecting something that someone else might not be thinking about. And it's not just like the obvious choices. Like, we're talking about a wider range of different people, like trending people in sports, or people like in the media, or something breaking is about to happen. A few things I'll get into too is on top of that. So when we developed that brand starting in 2018, my main purpose was to kind of build my book, my sports card book. Basically, I was working on it for 2-3 years or so. Started it in 2017. Got it published in August of 2019. It's called Sports Card Man: A Whole New Ball Game. We had made an Instagram for that too. You can give that a follow as well. It's available on Amazon, where it's an ebook. It's over 68,000 words. It covers everything sports card related, whether it's buying advice, selling, how to break down trades, what to look for in grading, condition, where to buy. We talked about at the time when we wrote it. We talked about a lot of cards that we thought would go up in the future that have since hit those projections. So it's crazy to go back and read some of it to know how advanced and how way ahead of its time it really was. This is something that is definitely worth buying. It's only $9.99. So, for instance, if you are someone that is interested in sports cards, this is the book for you. And wanting to learn about it, different strategies, buying techniques, selling techniques. It covers literally everything. And then, this was something that was out before, pre-COVID, where, we wanted to put out something that nobody else has before. Whether that's like other books have been written before, but it's almost like this book covered everything. And it gives you that perspective from someone that has been covering sports cards for, I would say, 20 plus years or so. I started probably in about the mid 90s, and I have been in it the whole time. Some people have come and gone. Some people have jumped back in when it was hot during COVID. Some people were getting into it more so when cards were hot during the COVID craze. But I'm someone that has always been in it, and then I have done a lot of content previously. If you search my name, you can search Vinny Rulo, and you'll see all my sports card articles. And a lot of those articles too were investment type of articles, or cards that I was projecting for people to buy, and and talk about why this was a good investment and things like that. So yeah, that is the whole purpose of the Sports Card Man brand. It's to really kind of do something that nobody else is doing. As far as like our competitors, because I know there's a lot of other sports card pages, nobody else is really putting out the content that we have created here. If you look at all of our 400 plus posts or so, we're putting out the only brand or sports card account that is making these types of projections, whether 70 or 80% of them are right, and the ones that are right are so like spot on. That's where it was almost like we were getting so many requests and DMs to continually to put more out, more and more out. So that's what we did. We made a premium account, which was at Sports Card Man Premium, which we were putting it for a lifetime membership of $25, and you pretty much get all of our additional picks on top of our other free picks that we put on at Sports Card Man. But the premium gives you on average 2 to 3 picks per week. The biggest one most recently this year, as I get into my next segment, was going to be kind of like my biggest wins, and I was going to maybe mention like some of my losses too, just so you can see, even when we are putting out some posts that aren't right, that it's not like you got killed on it or that it was a terrible investment or things like that. But yeah, the biggest win this year, I would say, on the premium was definitely the Aaron Judge 2013 Bowman Chrome PSA 10. It was could have been bought for, I would say, over about $1,000. Probably January, February, I think we posted that on the premium. So it was, and we point out, the future projection. We gave it a safe floor of $1,400 for the projection, and right now it's selling for $2,000. So if you were in the premium, you would have definitely had that opportunity to get that. Some other ones that stand out too. We did really well with like the Yankees players. As you can see, I'm wearing a Yankee shirt. I'm a big Yankees fan. Off to an amazing start this season. But yeah, we did really well with Nestor Cortez this season too. We were one of the first people to buy his first auto, which was like a certified card. I believe it was from like 2015, I think, but it was like Panini auto, and we were the first ones to actually buy that on eBay or we bought it on one of our secret sites, which I won't share in this podcast, but I'll eventually get into where, some other places that I can find good buys for people. But yeah, we bought it for $15 and we sold it 15 each. We bought 2 of them. We sold them both for like 120 something. And at the time it was probably like a really quick flip. It was something that only took like a week or so to do, or a week or 2 or so to do. So that's a really big return. Like we put up like $30 and we turned it into like 120. And to someone, it doesn't sound like a lot of money, but like for only investing that little bit of money and being able to get a return that quick, that's really good, especially in sports cards. So like it's just like examples like that you want to try to like analyze the situation, project the future value, and kind of capitalize on where you think that card can reach as far as like a potential in the future and things like that, and really staying ahead of the curve. The next one too, another Yankee that we were way ahead of the curve on too, was Clay Holmes. I saw how dominant Clay was pitching, probably like more so in like April, and then it continued. He continued to get better and better in May. And I was like, yeah, wow, this guy is going to be, the closer soon, just because I knew that the way he was pitching and that he wasn't allowing any runs. So in early May, we posted on our premium to buy his card on CLMC, which was like, I believe they were like $6 a piece or so. So I actually bought like 6 of them. and I sold them. I believe I paid like $36, and I think I've sold them all six for like $150. You can probably find the post on eBay when I sold it, but I was one of the ones that got the most money for like an ungraded homes like at the time, and it was just like a really easy buy to analyze because like it was a first year Bowman Chrome auto on a guy that was dominating for only $6. So to me it was a no brainer. But yeah, that's just like a couple that stand out too. We did find another buy on our that we recommended on our premium too. We use MySlabs a lot to kind of MySlabs.com to kind of see, what gets posted the most recent. If you look at the sold archive, you can see, posts that or people posting cards that have sold, and then you can click on to see what else they have available for sale. Sometimes stuff goes really quick on there. Other times, like, other stuff is overpriced. And so you just have to kind of analyze the market on there each day or every couple hours and see, what's on there. And sometimes a really good deal pops up, and you got to be quick to get it before someone else does. So there was an SGC 9.5 O'Neal Cruz on MySlabs, and I think it was like 175 or so. A guy had a couple of them, and those got scooped up, really quick. But yeah, that gives you an idea of some of our premium posts. And like I said too, we do put out these types of posts like on our regular account as well, but not as often. One other thing too that I've been doing too is I've been helping build Network, which is NTWRK. I've been recruiting breakers to join their stream. So if you're a breaker, you're listening, or if you want to get on the platform and to do breaks, I am actively recruiting people to get on Network. So you might have seen some of my posts on Sports Card Man, where I'm recruiting breakers to get on there for them, and then I'm helping promote their streams with the graphics that I make. So far, a lot of people have gotten on for me, and I've promoted them and promoted their show, and the breakers so far have been appreciative of that. So if you're, like I said, if you're a breaker, if you're on Whatnot, or if you're on any other platform like Drip or Loop, or I forgot the other some of the other ones too, or if you do like Instagram breaks or Twitch breaks or YouTube or TikTok, then definitely you want to get on Network, because there's a good chance that you can start doing really well, and they have a bright future for sports cards as well. Getting into now some more content side of the things too that we do on Sports Card Man is that I like to post things to a featured card of the week. That's something that we started last year on top of the BOTD, which stands for Buy the Day, as I said earlier. The featured card of the week is more so it tells like a story of the card, and why I think it might go up in value. Something about like more something that relates to why it's trending for that particular week. Whether it's like a Hall of Famer, or whether it's like someone that's like having a breakout week in sports. But yeah, that's the whole purpose of the featured card of the week post. That was something we started last year, and it's been really good. And we definitely want to continue to put out more of those types of posts for sure. More getting now more so towards the sports end of it. We spent a lot of time talking about what Sports Card Man is, but the last part of the show I wanted to talk about some things in sports happening right now, and some things to look for in the future, and maybe mix in some other sports card stuff too if we have time. But right now with baseball, it's the midpoint of the season. The Yankees seem to be one of the big favorites to have a big run in the World Series this year. As long as they get past the Astros, there's no question they should be, in the World Series. They just have to make maybe a few minor tweaks to their team, whether it's adding another outfielder, whether it's getting another starting pitcher if they want to go the front line route, or if they want to get more of just like a gap filler type of guy. There's not much out there for the trade deadline right now. We've been hearing Luis Castillo is a possibility. He's going to be very tough to get, knowing that the Reds have all the leverage right there for sure. There's a few bullpen guys that could help, that maybe help the back end of the pen, so the Yankees don't have to use Holmes or King as much, and can kind of rely on somebody else to help build the bridge to that pen for sure. So we might see something happen there. I do think the Mets might do something. They might get the same thing. They might make some minor tweaks, whether they pick up like an outfielder, or if they pick up a starting pitcher too. I could see them getting somebody for sure. But I still think the Braves have the better team than the Mets right now. The Mets probably have the better pitching, but I think the Braves lineup is like much superior than the Mets. Acuna hasn't really gotten hot yet. They're waiting to get Albies back. Riley is red hot. Olsen should have a better second half for sure. And then Swanson's had a breakout year. So I think that division is still very close. But I do think ultimately the Braves will win it. Just because last year at the trade deadline they picked up a lot of players, so I could see something like that happening again this year too. So it seems like the teams that are most active at the trade deadline make the deepest run in the postseason. At least that's been the trend the last couple of years. So definitely look for that for sure. I don't see anything really jumping up in value as far as like sports card wise when the trade deadline hits. I don't think like Soto will get moved at the deadline. I just think that's too short a time period for something like that to happen. I know he turned down $440 million, but I just don't, see him getting moved at the deadline for sure. Maybe more so in the off season, or that'll happen. And you heard some other names like Frankie Montez or like Andrew Benintendi, or there's a few other guys like Ian Happ, or but no one that really kind of has the like sports card impact that you would want to say like, hey, you should buy this guy's card, and because if he goes to this team, like it might go up in value. So I posted Benintendi getting possibly moved, and it was a nice buy of like Bowman Chrome auto for like $50, which wasn't bad. I mean, it was solid, but again, not much of a like long-term profit there, or like even the short-term profit, just because it's kind of like he's a solid player, but it's almost like he's not really much of a prospect anymore, or like a guy that's gonna get really hot and go up a lot in value. Some other things to look forward to, like coming up in sports, is definitely next weekend is the Hall of Fame induction weekend. So I am actually going to be doing the card show there with me and my dad. We'll be set up on the Hall of Fame street. It's the same show that's been around for like 40 plus years. So if you're in the Cooperstown area that weekend for when the Hall of Famers are getting in, David Ortiz is the one that got in through the only guy that got in through the ballot. And then you had some guys like on the committee vote, like I can't think of his name. Gil Hodges was one of the guys that got in. Tony Oliva, a few others. I'm drawing a blank on the other guys at the moment. But yeah, so those guys will be looking for those types of cards. I'm sure it's going to be all mostly Red Sox country with Ortiz getting in for sure. But like I said, if you're in the area, we'll be set up selling some sports cards there, memorabilia. It's always a fun time. I believe JSA usually is there, like authenticating autographs, and there's a lot of cool shops. We've been going to Cooperstown for 13, 14 years or so, so it's always a fun time. We were there last year, like during September, even with the shortened crowd when Jeter got in. So that was cool for sure. I notice right now, like it's tough to find Ortiz stuff. with him being so close to getting in the induction, in the Hall of Fame next year, I should say, with being that it's only a week away, I saw that it's very tough right now to buy Ortiz stuff, right? He only has two really good autographs, the 97 Flair Ultra and the 97 Flair. Both very good cards. It's just that they're tough to buy to kind of, make a profit off of, but they're good, cards to buy if you're looking to buy them for your collection for sure. Some other things too to look forward to: the Derek Jeter documentary. Can't go a few minutes without spending some time on that. I'm actually very excited for it. I think it's going to be just as good as the Jordan Last Dance documentary, which aired in 2020 when there was literally nothing else to watch during COVID. I think the Jeter documentary will, help Jeter stuff see a bump in value. I had some of the best Jeter cards going. Still have some of them left. I'll be doing a Jeter post on Sports Card Man this week to help promote some key cards that people should know about, and I'll talk about them and why I bought them and things like that. But yeah, I'm expecting that documentary to be very good. It airs after I think the Home Run Derby, so around 10 o'clock Eastern, which I think will be very interesting. A lot of people will talk about it, especially because Jeter was a guy that didn't give much to the media. He was very short with his answers, so I think you're going to really see a different side of Jeter. He joined Instagram's Twitter recently within the last couple months too, which was cool. So I think you're going to start seeing more of a different side of Jeter, and you'll learn a lot about what it was like him playing on the Yankees, talking about like himself more. He was very a team-oriented first guy where he was always talking about the team. So like now you're going to see a whole documentary of him talking about himself, and I'm sure all of his former players and coaches will chime in too. So it'll be definitely very interesting to watch for sure. Right now, too, I should mention the National is coming up, which is about 2 weeks away, which is in Atlantic City this year. So quick things I wanted to talk about at the National, right? So if you've never been to a National, I'm going to give you some quick strategies on and what to do and when you go there, right? So one thing to do is there's so many tables that it's overwhelming. So if you're going to go, you want to go for at least 2 days. But if you're someone that's there for 1 day, you got to know how to move quick. Like you have to know, okay, this table, the prices are too high, like on to the next table. If you're just browsing quick, or if you're trying to, let's say, buy, here's some quick tips. Look for cards that are tough to find, like on eBay, whether it's like a low pop or it's something that somebody else doesn't have, or something that's difficult to find, or something that's trending, or something that you can't find it elsewhere and you think it's a really good deal, then you have to buy it. Those are the things that I usually do when I'm like at a show. I'll look for something too that's also mismarked. So what happens is like some of these guys will get so busy that they won't change the prices on stuff. So if that's the price they're looking for it, and it happens to be worth more, then you have to buy it. This is something I wrote about in my book. It's called Mismark Theory. So it means basically something's priced for $50, but it could actually be worth like 100, or it could be like 150, or someone could have like 10-20 bucks on something and it's actually worth like 50. So if that's all they want for it, and that's what they're asking and they're happy with it, then you have to buy it. But sometimes people will still look up stuff though. So if they don't look it up and then they honor that price, then take advantage and buy it. It's only see, if only you don't buy it, then somebody else will. So that's why I don't really feel bad about it. Like, hey, don't you feel bad about when you bought a card off someone that was mismarked? And it's almost like I don't, because like that person didn't take the time to research to see what they actually have, or they just got lazy and didn't look it up. But if you go to a card show, or if you go to like a big show like that, literally everybody is going to be taking their phone and just saying, "Oh, this is what this is going for," or "This is what this is going for." And like, unfortunately, that's the name of the game when it comes to sports cards, is that eBay determines the marketplace. There's no really alternative marketplace for other cards. I mean, sometimes you can see what it went for on like Soul Archive on My Slabs, or something that sold at auction, or something along those lines. But this is something that has been going on for years, that people just always use eBay. And it's unfortunate, and there's no other marketplace. I mean, a lot of people use Card Ladder, but they don't have every card on there, so it's hard to use that sometimes too. But one other strategy too for the National: when you're trying to make a trade, make sure you're trading with a dealer or someone set up at the table that's going to give you fair value. Don't trade with someone that's only going to give you like 50% comps on your stuff, but then they want 100% of comps on their stuff. It's just, that doesn't really make sense from a trading standpoint, because you're better off just trading with someone online, or trying to trade with someone that's going to give you more fair value. This is something else I wrote about in my book. It's called being on the wrong side of the table. A lot of dealers will, try to almost like steal your cards in a sense, and want to only pay you like 50% comps, or want to pay like 60-70% comps. You really want to try to find someone that's like fair. I mean, if you leave a little bit on the table, that's understandable. I mean, they're gonna want to resell it. But I always like to try to trade up when I'm at a show. Like I want to trade something either that I think is harder to get, or I want to trade for something that nobody else has, or I can get rid of a few cards that get a better card. The only time I'm really trading down is if it's something I really want to get rid of. I'll just package something with another card and just say like, hey, I'll get rid of this good card here if you take this other card that I can't get rid of, or something. That's another one of my strategies, and that's a really good strategy too for trading. So I explain trading more, like different strategies like that, in my book. It's called Sports Card Man, a whole new ball game. Again, if you missed it earlier, so definitely pick that up and learn these strategies. As we do more of these podcasts, like each week, I'll try to chime in little bits and pieces that I wrote about my book, and really kind of, inform people that are listening, and reward people that did take the time to listen. So these episodes will be about a half hour or long or so. But yeah, I'm going to be attending the National too. So if anyone wants to meet up with me, or talk with me too, I'm more than happy to answer any questions. And you can feel free to send me a DM at SportsCardMan on Instagram. But yeah, we really want to take this to the next level, and start by putting out more podcasts, and putting out more content, and help that people will want to listen, and tune in each week. And my last thing I'll just say for this week, we have about a minute left, is that just keep looking for our content in the future, whether it's like buy of the day, whether it's featured post of the week, whether you're interested in joining the premium, which is at Sports Card Man Premium. I can give you all the details with that and what that includes. Whether you want to join to stream on network, I can get you set up on there if you're a breaker and interested in learning about that opportunity. Whether you do want to buy the book for $9.99 on Amazon, which I think is a no-brainer. It'll help anyone that's interested in sports cards, or anyone that is new to sports cards, for sure. So yeah, definitely tune in next week, which we will be talking about more sports cards, maybe mix in some comics as well, and get ready and talk about our trip at Cooperstown. So I thank you guys for listening, and thank you again for tuning in. Thank you. Bye.